And let's create the folder of script. And then inside of there, we're going to create C# script. I'm going to call pick item. All right, and we're going to make a very simple, how can I say that, a script which is going to randomly select object. So let's start with the public game object. It can be like multiple number of the game object. So let's add the array, and then I'll say items to pick from. And then we don't need the update over here, so I'm going to delete the update. I'm going to create a new void, which is called pick. And inside of the pick, we're going to just create a new integer, which is random index. I'm going to call this one as like this, equal to random dot range from 0 to the number of item to pick from, which is length. So yeah, well, this can be the multiple number of the items. It can be 500 or 10, something like that. So it's going to get the length. Length means the number of the items, how many items in there. So here it's going to pick any numbers from the between the. Then game object, say new object equal to, whoops, let's instantiate with item to pick from, but we have to give them certain number, which what is going to generate. So random index. So it's going to get from kind of any random object from there. And then I'll say just transform dot position, comma, quaternion dot identity. So then we need to call this void inside of the start. Save it. I'm going to give you a bit of more time. And then let's go back to Unity. We're going to create a new create empty object, which is pick item. So every time when you generate the empty object, just make it to your habits to reset the positions, because usually when the empty object contains the script, it's going to use its own transform position. So it's always better to keep the position of 0, 0, 0. So here, pick item, I'm going to attach this script to here. We see these items to pick from. So let's create cube. Where is it? Okay, let's reset the position. I'm going to call this one as blue cube, and I'm going to duplicate this one. I'm going to call this one as red cube. Let's create a new folder, which is materials, and one more, PFAS. Under the material, let's create new material, blue material, and red material. Let's change the color blue material to blue, obviously. And red to red. And let's attach the materials to each cube. And yeah, you also can bring to here, but for now the location is the same, so you don't know what is what. So I'm just going to drag and drop to here, blue cube and red cube. So right. Then let's make them prefabs. We don't need these anymore.
When you
And
make them prefab, can you?
yeah,
When you make them prefab, you just dragging them down to the, let's say, like that folder, and
exactly,
that turns it
exactly.
into, okay.
Exactly. So just, well, I mean, don't follow this one. I'm going to just show. So sphere, for example, if I create any object, and then if I want to make it this one as a prefab, just drag into do your prefab folder. Well, it doesn't need to be a prefab folder. This is just for the organizing. So I'm
Okay.
saying just drag and drop to this project panel, and then it's going to be changed to prefab. And then after you make the prefab, you don't need it anymore inside of your scene. Just you can delete this one. So you can load these the prefabs in the script if you wish. So we're not going to use this sphere, so I'm going to delete this sphere as well. We're only going to use this blue and red cube. And then if you want to change some property of the prefabs, all you need to do is just double click, actually double click. And then you also can change your material here, or the size, the location or rotation, something like that. So you can change inside of here and then going out, and then it's going to keep your new property. So go to the pick item. Here, you see the numbers over here, items to pick from. We have two, right? So let's create two locations, two elements like this. So now you see there are two elements, which is empty. So first of all, let's add blue and then red. Maybe to see a bit clearly, I think I'm going to add one more cube. Maybe this is better, I guess. And which is green cube. Create material. Right? And let's make this one to prefab as well. And go to the pick item. You can make it to 3. And the last one, I mean, usually it just copy the last one. So you need to attach again to green cube. And now you are ready to use the pick items, which is just all you need to do is just press play. It's going to generate, it's going to instantiate one cube, but by randomly. So for now, it created the green cube. If I play it again, maybe create blue cube. And then again, green cube, something like that. So this one always create, instantiate new object. I mean, random object from pick from the items. So we're going to use these items today. Not today, I mean this tutorial. And since we got the select items, so now we want to have like a randomize the positions. So I'm going to create new empty object. Here is, I'm going to call this one is item spawner. Let's reset the location always. Let's go to the script. Let's create new C# script. You can just call it item spawner. And let's attach this script to item spawner. And then let's open this one. Spread spawn. Wait, maybe spread. Okay, I think this is fine. Right, yeah. No, I just confused with the names. All right, so yeah, let's use this item spawner. So it's going to spread all the items here and there. So first of all, let's create public game object. Oops. Hold item to spread. A, B. Then public. This is it's going to be the area. So item x spread equal to 0 for now. No, 10. And then let's just copy and paste this line 2 times. Then let's change this x to y and z. So here we're not going to use update again. So just void spread items. We're going to create the vector 3. So because the position is going to be randomized. So random position equal to new vector 3D. And again, we're going to use random range. And this time it's going to use these numbers. So x, but start from the minus x to just x like this. And the comma. You're going to have the same for y, same to z. Right. And then all we need to do is just game object, new object, oops, new object. Is instantiate this object. Oops. Instantiate item to spread. Position of random position. And just let's say quaternion. I'm not going to rotate it for now. And that's it. And we need to call this void inside of the start. I think, yeah, this is fine. Just save. You go to the item spawner here. So for now, we're going to make this pick item to prefab. So just pick item, you can just make it to prefab. We don't need this one anymore inside of our scene. And then go to the item spawner. You can just drag and drop your pick item to item spawner. So it's going to pick the random item, and then it's going to put the random position. When you press this one, when you press play. Yeah. For now, because here it only instantiates one time. So it's going to create any location of 10 by 10 by 10, and then spawning only one object each time. This here and there. So what we want to do is we want to generate the multiple items in one time. So here, just inside of the start, we can add, before that, I think we can start with the public integer number of items, maybe 20. Inside of start, we're going to use for loop, start to number of items. What I've done is just tap 2 times. It's going to generate the like saved, how can I say that? Saved syntax like this. And I'm not using that much time, but the for loop is very convenient. And here, just item spread inside to here. And then that's it, I guess. Save. Wait for the compiling. Then if you press play, yeah, it's going to, it generated like a 20 object in random location. So now let's keep the y 0. So it's going to spread. You can see it a little bit more obviously. All right. And then maybe you'd like to have like different angles. For now, everything is just perpendicular. So maybe you'd like to have different angles for each cube. So here, what you need to do is just go to the pick items. I'm going to pick items. By the way, this is just one tip for the Unity. Yeah, because maybe I guess like when you play your Unity, the color of the Unity is very similar to when you are playing or when you are not playing it. So sometimes it is quite confusing, like if you are playing or not, because like if you change some numbers when you are playing it, it's not going to be saved. So here you can go to the preferences, colors. In here, play mode tint. You can change the color of the play mode tint. Then you're going to have the like very obvious color. So you can figure out I'm now playing the scene or not playing the scene. It's just one tip for the Unity. And where were we? Okay. So go to the pick items. Here we're going to add just one more lines for the rotation. So here I'm going to add just Platonian random rotation equal to Platonian. Here is not going to use the identity. We're going to use Euler. Sorry, point Euler here. And then just all you need to do is Euler random by the way, just sorry. So for the Euler, you need the three numbers. It's going to be x comma y comma z. So for now, we're not going to turn by x or z. The axis of the turn is going to be y. So we're only going to give the random number for this. Random dot range 0 to 360 degree. And that's it. So the random notation, use the random notation rather than Quaternion identity, and save this one.
Hey, hun.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to create, for example, like a y variable instead of like writing it within the, I guess like with the Euler, let's say, function. do I say like, would I say like float y equals like random range, or do I have to add something else? So do you know where you added random range, and I just want to turn that into like a y variable, let's say, like apart
Yes.
from.
Yeah, sure. You can do something like that. Like for example, if you want to control, sorry, specific number outside inside of the Unity, I mean outside of the script inside of Unity, you can just add the, for example, public float uh, y axis, maybe I guess,
Mhm.
and then the just here you can put the y axis, and then you can control it out up there. At the beginning of the beginning, you have to give certain number anyway. And then now if you save this one, and then you can control the numbers in the inside of the Unity as well.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. And for now, yeah, just I'm going to generate by randomly. So here, yeah, now you will see the also the angle is quite random. The location is also the random. And then in the end, we'd like to have, for example, I'm going to add one plane size of oops, 5, and then some cubes. Scale up a bit, like this much. I think is totally fine. And duplicate. Like for example, you have these two ground, and maybe this is too bright, so I'd like to add just ground material. So yeah, we want to have the for now. If we if we play it, it's going to generate anywhere, but like it's I can say that it's nothing about the ground. So what we want to do is just we want to use the laycast function to find the correct position of the y. So what we can do is here is I'm going to create new empty object which is named with your item. Let's say just item height. Um, so y location and script create C# script. Uh, the name is going to be a bit different because we're going to use latecast y location. Let's say this like this. And let's add this to item y location. Oops. And reset the position here. All right.
So every time you like you create like empty objects in order to like create like a function, or what is like kind of like the, I guess, the intuition about creating like the
Well,
empty object.
it depends on how you want to do it, but usually, I mean, sometimes you want to have like a, because we are not creating that like that complex things today. So that's why I
Mhm.
create just every single the empty object, because actually this is easier to understand because one empty object contains one script. This is easiest way to read the file. So and then this is what most of people is doing. But sometimes when you create like a proper game, for example, because anyway the Unity is the game engine. So
Mm-hmm.
and then there is sometimes you need to collect multiple script in one empty object as well. It depends on exactly, it depends on how you're going to use it, how you're going to scripting it. Is so there is no answer for this one, but just doing it in general way. Like I think yesterday I didn't look at it there carefully yesterday, to be honest, but I assume that Sumin was also creating every scripts for the every empty object, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is quite general things, but so it's easier to handle the functions, easier handle the script. Like for example, what I've done was just so actually and then to be honest, like all of these things can be done in one script as well. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, it can be shrink to one script, but like it also depends on what you want to do, and then it's about like how you want to do it as well. So for now, like the reason why I separated the script is the actually this is the easiest way to make this function, but like maybe because this is easy because we are not doing that much complex things. So for example, sometimes if we want to do quite more complex things like a real game, and then at that times maybe you need to shrink two script into one script sometime. So we also can just change this script to make it to one, just combine it. We can do it, but just combine it is just not just copy and paste. We need to rewrite everything again because how to read the file is going to be changed as well. Then the sequence of the file. So for example, for now, if you look at this one, the item spawner, it is using the pick item, which is actually it, even though it is using the game object, but this game object already contains the another script, right? So like it is kind of child, it is using this script is using this script, and then
Mm-hmm.
actually I'm going to add another, I'm going to use this script. Inside of this script, actually, we're going to attach item spawner to here. We're going to make it this one to prefab later, and then we're going to attach the prefab to here. So it's going to be like use this one, and then using this one is going to use another one, something like that. So it's a deeper
Mm-hmm.
and deeper and deeper in this way today.
So you're
But
like nesting them essentially, or
yeah. For
yeah.
now, the idea is something like that. But this is just for this one. So when I create another project, I sometimes make just one big empty object.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people usually using it for their game settings. So for example, I'm going to delete this one, but games, if I create a game settings object, and then if I create script called, was it game settings? I'm just confusing the name. Not game settings. Mm, what was it? Not game settings. It was name of uh just controller. I don't remember the exact. I mean, no, I don't. I don't know why. Generous. I think it was game. Maybe game controller. I know it was not game controller. What was it? Well, I mean, however, the reason why I wanted to do this one is like because people, the icon is going to be changed due to the name. I don't remember the exact name for
Oh,
now. Yeah,
yeah.
it was like game control or game settings or something like that. And then if you create the script with that name, the icon is going to change. You know the usual the settings shape. But
Mm-hmm.
however, the function itself is same, but the reason why the icon is changing is because usually people using that script to collect a lot of scripts. So in the game settings, I'm going to maybe I can attach this item spawner and then item location or the pick item, something like that. So one empty object, one object is can contains a lot of different script in one time as well. So it's going to be like kind of bridge for the this and that, something like that. So, well, I mean, so when you go deeper and deeper, you'll find that there's a literally various way to do the scripting. There is no answer and the like no like just one style. Every single so for example, if you just check the YouTube, every single people is going to introduce different script uh, by doing something. Like, of course, very simple thing is going to be very same, but the if you want to a bit complex things, every script is going to be different. So yeah, like that.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
that,
that's good. That helps.
cool,
Because
cool.
I was just curious, like, why you're structuring it like that, but then it makes sense if you want to keep nesting things and seeing how when you pull one, it's gonna pull all these scripts at one time.
But I mean, for one game object and for one script, this is very normal. I say, yeah.
Yeah.
I think most of people doing this in this way. So let's create a public. What I was going to do is latest. Okay, so plot and well, this number is actually we're not going to use this outside, but yeah, latest distance is going to check the maximum number. I mean, so not the maximum number of the length of the latest, and then public game object. Object to spawn. Then we're not going to use the update here. Let's create another void, which is called, and then I just want to show another tip. So, well, I mean, what I've done was I created a void first, and then I just called this one to here. But sometimes you want to make the name of the void first. So I say, well, I'm going to make the one function, one void, which is called position latest. We can say that. And then you also can do copy and paste this one, but rather than that, just Alt Enter is going to show generate method like this. And then just when you click this one, it's automatically create the void of the name with the name of this one. And we can use this one. I'll use laycat hit the objects. Well, this is just like the how can I say that? Just this is rule, just normal rule for the just the latest. It's always going to be same like this. Transform that position, and it's going to use vector down. Vector down is like it only going to shooting the down. I mean the y-axis, and then go to the down, and out hit latest distance. And inside of the it here, we're going to instantiate new game object, equal to instantiate, which is object to spawn, the location of the latest hit point, and we're not going to rotate it. So Cottonian dot identity. That's it. Yep. And then just let's go back to item spawner here. We just want to add here into the Y transform dot position dot Y, because we're going to shoot the old object to the ground on top of the layer on top of the ground, and then we're going to shoot them onto the ground. So we want to add some y value, and here let's make the item spawner, for example, like 20, I guess. It doesn't need to be that high. 15 is totally fine. And let's bring it to the prefab item spawner, and we can delete this one. And then inside of the item Y location, just attach item spawner to here. Yep. And then if you play this one, should. Oh, I think I did something wrong. Okay, what's wrong? Yeah, I think I missed some. I missed something, which is, let's see. Item location. So here, instantiate object to spawn. Weird, I think this is fine. Item spawner is also pick item. There, but why? Maybe I bring this one to here top as well. Ah, that was why. Okay. Anyway, the well, it's like the location of this one is not important. Yes, true. Location of this object is important for now. So it's going to generate the like same as this transform anyway. So it has to be go above the items. And then it works very weird for now because it should have on top of the each items, I mean each ground. It's simple, but out hit latest distance. Let's reduce the distance. I think should be fine, but object to spawn, hit a point. Maybe rather than this one, the safer way is I can just do like this. I think this should be fine, but so I mean there is no problem with the inside of script. It was mistake of the other. So here, what you need to do is just like before make the item spawner to the prefab. Well, we have to make a prefab to item Y location actually. So inside of Y location, let's put the pick item to here. So link was messed up. So after that, let's bring it to this as a prefab. We don't need this item Y location anymore, but still remain the item spawner over here. And we need to attach this to Y location to item spread. And then all you need to do is just make item spawner to like around 50 meters height. And then just press the play. It's going to generate the, on top of the each ground, something like that. Well, the reason why you only see the cube, the half, is it always calculating within their how can I say that? The center or the like the origin of the each prefab. So if you want to change this one, actually what you can do is I can just bring it to here. I'm going to create empty object again. I'm going to duplicate 2 times. I'll say blue object. Oops. And green object, red object. Then each of them, I'm going to make the child of the empty object. And then inside of here, select these 3 cube and then make give a bit of height, like 0.5. And then just make them prefab again. So we don't need this anymore. And inside of pick item, let's change this to new object. So if you go inside of this object, in this prefab, you will see the cube is on the ground right now. And then previously it was like in the center, something like that. So we changed the like origin position of, by using the empty object. So if we play this one now, every cube is going to generate on top of the ground, something like this. So if you change the height, oops, not during the play, like this, and it's going to create on top of the plane, on top of the ground, like this. Well, the reason why this is here is because like the center of the position is a bit outside of the this cube.
Hey, Hanyu, can you just real quick go over again like the item-wide location and like how you changed it?
Sure. What with the
Yeah,
script wise? Okay.
no,
Okay.
how you converted it, I guess from prefab and which inputs you were putting in.
Yeah. So at the beginning of today, the pick items here. Okay. You mean the changing these prefabs
No,
or
like you know how you
just orders, right?
yeah, you push the item-wide location down into the prefabs and then you kept the item spawner up there.
Yeah. So item Y location contains this latest Y location, right? So
yeah.
This item Y location inside of here, latest distance is doesn't matter actually. Yeah. And then just inside of here, just you need to attach pick item to here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, well, if it was here, like make it to prefab, the item Y location, I mean, and then item spawner, you need to input item Y location, this one to here.
Oh, I see. Okay. Gotcha.
Cool. And then of course you can increase the numbers. Yep, something like that. And then let's turn off this one, oops, as well as this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to generate a kind of procedural grid. So we can have a rather for now this is totally random position, right? So for now and then we'd like to have a kind of like controlized the random position. So which is we're going to create another empty object and we're going to call it as a on grid. Make sure reset the position all the time. Script on grid. Let's attach this one to here. Well, this is also very simple, simple script as well. So here, let's start with your game object. No, public game object. And then again, we're going to have, again, we're going to have multiple number of the items. So items to pick from again. So this is kind of like the, like combining together. So public integer, we say greet x, and public integer greet z. We're not going to touch the y this time. So like this one, and then again, public float, we say greet spacing offset to now. And here public, let's add vector 3 is greet origin go to vector point 0. Well, this doesn't need to be the public, but there just if you want to change inside of the Unity, you can add to this one as a public. And here I'm going to create, well, we're not going to use the update. Let's add another void, create generator, I'll say, generator. And then we need the for loop 2 times. I think this is same as like when you create the parametric wall from yesterday. So here, you can say X and Z to avoid confusion. And X is going to increase grid X, grid Z. And here just, we can use vector on position equal to, I mean, this is almost same as yesterday's the parametric wall, but just we're going to tweak a bit. And so grid spacing offset, comma, not zero. No, I said we're not going to use y, so 0, comma, grid spacing offset. Oh, and game object, new object. No, not here. Sorry, because I'm a bit hurry now. And we're going to use this position in somehow. So what we want to do is just maybe we want to add another function. We can call it like a pick and spawn, for example. And inside here, we need a spawn position, and we need just quaternion dot identity. That's it. And alt enter is going to generate method. So here is already created this one spawn position and the quaternion. Well, identity sounds very weird, so I'll say just rotation. Rotation. And this is just my habits. I usually put underbar when I use the variable inside of the function like this. This is easier to recognize which variable from where, which. So you don't need to follow that, but yeah, just for me, this is kind of habits. And then random index again. Random dot range. integer random index random dot item to pick from dot length. Why does it have a problem? That's it. It's pretty weird. I mean, usually it doesn't have any problem, something like this one, but sometimes it like shows this kind of problem. Then you need to just add Unity engine dot because there are two kind of random syntax, which is using the system dot random and Unity engine dot random, and how to use it is a bit different, and then functionally it is also a bit different. But generally we're using the random, and we also just using the Unity engine library. So I think you shouldn't have this error, but I don't know why it sometimes show this kind of error. Game object, here, new object. Going to instantiate, which is item to pick from with random index with position of spawn position and location of Catalonia. I think this is, and we need to call this function inside of start. I hope it doesn't have any error. And here, let's add 3 items, which is these 3. And if I press, okay, because I need to give them a number. Okay, yeah, it's fine. So maybe we can have, like, for example, 30, I guess. And if we say the offset, like, for example, 1.1, there is going to be a bit offset in between the older grid, like this. And here we want to, like I said, we want to shake a bit. Like we want to shake the position a bit rather than just randomize position everywhere. So here I'm going to add another public value, which is public vector. I say random position value. And I'll add a variable, which is vector 3 random position, the vector 3 and here all we need to do is get the kind of like give a random value to shake a bit. So here I'm going to say the vector 3 again, random position equal to new vector random dot, something's wrong, but however it's fine. And the minus, we need to use this one. This is too long maybe. Len pose, I'll just, because I just want to reduce the length. Comma to like this. And since this is not a number, it is vector, so we need to say this. So it's going to get the x value from the random position variable and the yeah, it's like it's going to be same as y and z. And here, let's change to y and z. In the end, the position, we need to return this value, random position. This, and all we need to do is just using this random position inside of here. So, well, rather than just this one, well, let's just comment out so we can see it later again. And random position here, but here we're going to still use spawn position. And yeah, this is it actually. So, right. So when you click the spawn grid here, random position variable is here. So I'll say just one for now, one each. And then if I just press the play, it's going to shaking like this. Well, if it is too much, maybe we can just say 0.2. So it's somehow it's in there, I mean, inside of the grid, and then it just changed the location a little bit. Like, as you can see, it's kind of like noise-ish. So this is this is what we use for the random position.